Who do you, growing up, who do you think, like, character-wise influenced you the most?
Like TV characters?
Yeah, like, growing up watching certain movies or cartoons, like, what was your kind of major influence?
Hmm. It's a good question. There's a lot of things that I watched a lot as a kid. One of them, Field of Dreams.
Hmm.
My family, we had the VHS, so I probably watched that movie, you know, 25, 30 times as a kid, and it's a beautiful story. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, the one where it's like this baseball field and
If you build it, they'll come.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So that was big. I watched a whole bunch of like Ghostbusters and stuff like that. Uh, Cartoon wise, SpongeBob was huge. I watched a lot of uh, Dragon Ball Z.
Hmm.
Did you ever watch that show?
Never.
No? Oh my God.
That was good.
It was like the ultimate, like, masculine kid show who wants to live in a little bit of an alternate universe. There was at one point where I was probably in like fifth or sixth grade, and they asked us to draw a picture of yourself.
Hmm.
And are you familiar with Dragon Ball Z enough that like what the characters look like and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, like Goku, Vegeta.
Yeah, okay. So I drew myself with like Goku's hair when he's Super Saiyan. And I remember the teacher being like, "Oh, someone had a bad hair day." Like, you don't get it. But yeah, always want to be those badass dudes, like that was really uh, a big thing, is like fucking loving Dragon Ball Z, loving the hero story, and just the main theme of that is that you get an underdog who overcomes over and over and over again, and he
Mhm.
may not win every time, but the losses only make him stronger, and he comes back more determined and more prepared to take on the challenge ahead of him.
Hmm. Do you think that show became so popular because of that character outline? The underdog getting
Yeah,
after it again and again and again,
you
kind of
know,
like striking home with a lot of kids.
it definitely it definitely could be. I've never heard anybody else really talk about it in that way. It's
Mm.
more just like, lights and sounds, and oh my God, it's a superhero like defeating Frieza and all the fucking androids. So you don't know what other people take away from it,
Uh-huh.
but it's definitely one of those things that uh, inspires you to try to see your own strength.
I see.
Hmm.
One for me was Adam Sandler,
In what movie?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore? Yeah, I love that. Did you see the second one?
Yes, dude,
I laughed my ass off,
so fucking good.
dude, and I was so happy that came out. And like, you know, I don't remember what day I watched it, but it was a day that I was feeling like really lazy, which not my MO, right? But I'm
Hmm.
like, you know what? Fuck it. This movie just came out. Let me just enjoy a night of stupid humor and watch it. And there's a big part of me that's kind of like, oh, I'm past that stupid humor. It's not something that's worth my time to watch shit that's not letting me learn or
Yeah,
grow in some type of way.
yeah.
But just taking that hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was, to just enjoy stupid humor for a little bit
Uh,
was just a very nice reprieve from my normal MO.
he's the best, man.
Mm,
I would copy everything after him, like his accent, the way
really.
that he would talk, his mannerisms.
Somebody's closer.
Like everything. I remember one time my mother, she took me to do stand-up comedy for the first
Really?
time. Yeah, she's like, I remember I was in my room and I was maybe 15.
Mm,
She's like, Shani! She like opened it up. And she's from Argentina. So
mm.
she's like, Shani, I think you are not that funny that you think you are. I'm like, what? She would always, it's always like, she'd come to my room and it was always this weird statement. And then
Yeah.
the weird statement would lead to like this new adventure. And she was like, you think you're very funny. I don't think you are.
Prove it, bitch.
Yeah. So she was like, do you want to come and like do stand-up comedy? So I went and she's like, you need to write. And I was like, no need.
So this has just been a pattern.
This is it's been a pattern. No need, I'll just do it. And then go, and then I was just like, everything was Adam Sandler style, like stories, and
Did you sing?
I did not sing.
No. Okay.
That's his main thing.
Yeah,
Though,
yeah. His stand up, he like does joke songs and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like if you ever saw Eight Crazy Nights, I think he did all of the music for that, and it's all just like really wild, stupid songs that make you laugh in the middle of it.
Who's your favorite actor?
Favorite actor?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like favorite actor. Yeah.
You know, that's never been something where I've had like a real favorite actor.
Mm.
Uh, you know, in Breaking Bad, the actor that Bryan Cranston plays,
Mm.
Walter White, Heitzen,
The
whatever,
bald guy, right?
Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Um, it's a really incredible performance.
Mm.
One of those that it's believable from the moment that the show starts until the moment that the show finishes. And you're really just blown away with the guy's level of attention to emotional detail throughout the show
Mm-hmm.
to really bring that character to life and make you feel like you 1,000,000% believe that this guy went from being this nerdy science teacher to fucking meth kingpin
Mm-hmm.
and all the steps along the way to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say that, like, from a pure acting standpoint, that's what I would point to as the most impressive display of acting that I've witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there isn't anybody that say, oh, he's in this movie, I need to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you're drawn to certain comedians, stuff like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fucking love Adam Sandler, right? How could
Because,
you not? And then, he started to have kids and not want to do R-rated movies, and so you fall away from him for a little bit. But loved Happy Gilmore too, and stuff like Uncut Gems is pretty cool.
that was a good one.
Hmm.
Yeah. Growing up, not movies or not entertainment wise, who was the key influence into who you are today?
Hmm.
You would say.
I was a big baseball player,
Mm-hmm.
um, and my favorite baseball player as a kid was Pat Burrell. He was a home run hitter for the Phillies. He started out as a third baseman, then first baseman, then left fielder for the rest of his career. Um, but he wasn't an influence from a character standpoint or anything like that. But this guy on the Phillies that came in probably 2003 or four, Chase Utley,
Mm-hmm.
really was that like gritty, hard nosed player. The guy that would give that 2% extra effort all the time, and you'd see that effort show up over and over and over again in the impact that he made on the field, whether it was making a good defensive play or taking an extra base on the base paths or whatever it was. And the Phillies announcer, this guy Harry Callis, who's in the Hall of Fame, is legendary uh, announcer who was with the team for like 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Utley does this play where he fakes throwing the ball to first base and then throws it to home, gets the guy out at home,
Mm-hmm.
and Harry Callis just goes, "Chase Utley, you are the man." And that call has just lived in infamy ever since then. And that's the type of shit I love, where he might not be the most physically talented player on the field, but he's the guy that's going to give his all every single time, and it's just admirable, man. Just knowing that whatever you have is what you can give, and if you're willing to give 110%, it's going to show up more than any level of talent ever could.
Do you feel that rings true with where you're at in life right now or with your character?
Most definitely. I mean, you and I met probably what 2-3 months ago now, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the first time that I came to Baby T's,
yeah, in May maybe,
maybe I'm not sure.
May, June, something like that.
Uh-huh.
So you've kind of known me in this stage of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And we were getting a lift in right before this, and we were talking a little bit um, about uh, about motivation for doing the hard things that we undertake, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm I'm not a huge guy, right? I'm muscular, obviously now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's because I've put in work for 20 years to
Yeah.
be at this point. Um, I've never been the fastest, the strongest, anything like that. But I've been somebody who believes in himself to a very strong degree. And if there's something that people can do, why not fucking me? So yeah, a lot of that bleeds in.
Mm. And speaking of crazy shit that most people don't think they can do,
Hmm.
100-mile fucking race coming up.
Yeah, which you're gonna join me for.
Which I'm gonna come and do. Oh shit!
I can't wait to see your face during it. I cannot wait to see your face during it.
It's so much fun to see a person go through in such a short amount of time, relatively, just every emotion you can imagine. I mean, with the Psycho 10K, I do think those experiences are one of the best ways to bond with another person.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So real quick, tell the listeners what the Psycho 10K was.
All right, people, whoever you may be. So the Psycho 10K, derived from Mr. John Borden, was an idea that he explained to me through message. We were pretty much got into contact. My friend Benjamin Burkhalter, who's a mutual friend of us both, was my old Misogi buddy. So Misogi is this word for ritual purification. It pretty much just means a defining experience. So it could be every year, it could be every month, however you like it. Benjamin ended up leaving to go to Texas, and needed a new partner to do this monthly challenges with. I was thinking of psychos. I was like,
King Psycho.
Get Psych Fitness. I was like, it's in his blood. I gotta get in contact with him. So we got into contact. We were thinking about ideas, and he proposed Psycho 10K. Psycho 10K is 5 different challenges with a weighted vest challenge in between each challenge. Total running or total distance acquired is about 10 kilometers. So the 5 challenges, to list them off, are: number 1, a 100-pound sandbag carry; number 2, a 45-pound in each arm farmer's carry; number 3, 45-pound in each arm dumbbell bear crawl; number 4, a 210-pound frame carry; and then number 5, the devil. The devil that struck us both.
12 hours.
12 hours.
12 hours of fucking grinding.
Yes, the fucking worst. The 100-pound sandbag lunge per kilometer. And all of these challenges are done across 1 kilometer. And as you were just saying, 12 hours for one challenge. The 4 of the challenges before this took me 12 hours to complete. And then just the lunges, 12 hours in and of itself.
Yeah. 11, 12.
11, 12?
Yeah.
Around that area.
Whatever. One of them was 11, one of them was 12. But yeah, same idea, right? I mean, at that point, you're fucking splitting hairs, because regardless, that is way longer than anyone could anticipate ever doing the same exercise over and over and over again. And, especially when you go into it, it's one thing for me, right? Like I said, I've been weight training for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So it's something where I've built up my body to the point where it's capable of doing things like that with relative ease, right? Relative being that it took me 2 hours to do that and not 12.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing when every single step is an incredible challenge that you have to push through in and of itself.
Yeah.
And so the amount of resolve and determination that you showed during that just takes that challenge to the next level and to exactly where I was hoping to get with it, right? Because with that, right? Because, again, it's one thing for me to do it, right? And for me, it's about time. How quickly can I do it? How quickly can I get through this? But for someone like you, who's highly underprepared for something like that,
Yes.
to go out and do it, despite knowing how unprepared you are, despite knowing how long it's going to take for you to do it, it's just a completely different level of challenge. And, and to share the story of resilience and strength and just being stronger than you give yourself credit for is an amazing thing that I'm just ridiculously grateful for all of the influences in my life that have come together to provide me the opportunity to do that. And so I'm really looking forward to November 9th when the race is over and I get to step on that stage and talk about everything that has happened to bring me to that point.
What an experience it's gonna be.
Ooh, man.
November 7th is when it starts, right?
Yeah, so Canada Elk's a 3-day this time. The 7th, uh,
But the
I think they're
race,
kind of doing like, the race is the 8th.
the race starts on the 8th.
Yeah, the 8th at,
Okay.
I think, 5 or 5:30 a.m. And then, we end here in downtown St. Pete on the 9th.
So it's gonna start in Tampa. I looked at the map. It goes
Mm-hmm.
from like Tampa all the way into Dunedin,
Mm-hmm.
and then taking the beach route,
Mm-hmm.
Clearwater, St. Pete Beach, Treasure
Down to
Island.
Gulfport, all the way down and around, and then ending, I think,
St.
at Vinoy Park.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You're gonna know the whole city, baby.
Yes. What do you think in the race will be some possible pitfalls of the race not happening or of you not making it, if we had to kind of project, if you had to see, okay, here are some pitfalls that realistically could happen, and then what we could do about them?
Yeah, well, so I mean, first and foremost, there is no not doing it, right?
We're gonna fucking smash
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Period, right? You start the race, you finish the race.
Yes.
Period. That being said, you have to be aware of what the potential challenges that you're going to need to overcome. Nutrition, hydration are major, making sure that you feel comfortable with eating and moving and eating and moving and eating and moving. You have to become really intimately familiar with pain.
Yeah.
And understand what your body's telling you at different points, because nobody completes a 100-mile race and feels fucking great at the end of it.
Except David Goggins.
even David Goggins, like if you listen to his books, like the first race that he ever did, he got rhabdo, which I forget what it's short, rhabdomyosis or rhabdometriosis or something like that.
He ran like 100 on a 1-mile track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah,
fucking beast.
Mm-hmm.
Super
Completely.
heavy too.
With not the proper nutrition and was just fucking pissing blood and yeah, but there's going to be pain. There's going to be an incredible amount of pain. There's going to be an incredible amount of suffering. There's going to be an incredible amount of doubt and why am I doing this? And is it worth it? But you just have to shut all that fucking shit up, and you have to be comfortable with living in your mind with that voice shouting at you to stop for hours and hours and hours, and just continuing to take one step after the other. When we did that Psycho 10K, I had a really powerful experience the night before, and I think I shared this with you on the day that we did that race. But it's the day before the Psycho 10K, and so we know that there's going to be a really big physical challenge the next day, and so Baby T and I are here, and we're discussing, okay, what's a nice easy night that we could have to just relax. And she's like, well, I'm gonna eat some mushrooms. I'm like, okay, I'll eat some mushrooms too. And so we ate about 3 grams of mushrooms each. And she came in here, she lied down in the guest bedroom, and it had just started drizzling. So I was like, I want to enjoy the rain. So I'm gonna go sit out and feel this rain on my skin, and as the mushrooms are coming on, just be there in this nice, beautiful, calm, cooling rain that'll help me to just ease into this experience. So I get my towel together, I put on dry fit shorts and my flip-flops, and I go outside. And in the time between me saying, oh, it's a nice, beautiful light rain, and actually getting my ass outside, it turned into a torrential downpour. But I made that commitment to myself that I was going to sit out there until I was ready to come in.
Yeah.
And so I go and I sit outside, and I'm sitting in the Adirondack chair as the rain is pouring down on top of me. And granted, it's a 90-degree day in Florida. So even with the rain coming down, it's not that cold.
Yeah.
But your body sure as fuck thinks it is, right? And so I'm sitting there in the chair with my whole body convulsing, and I'm saying I'm not moving. Like, you can shake all you fucking want. I'm not moving until you stop.
Mhm.
And so I sat there for 30 minutes as my whole body shaked and shaked and shaked until I was able to just get to that point in my mind where you get into that meditative space where you shut everything down and you just focus on what you focus on, and eventually your body starts listening.
Mm.
And that type of thing is the best way to mentally prepare you for something like we're going to go into, because
Interesting.
your body's going to tell you stop. Your body's going to tell you run, get inside, get warm, grab a towel, get in the hot shower. And you have to tell it, no, motherfucker, I'm here. This is exactly where I want to be, and you're not going to convince me to go anywhere fucking else, because this is my job and I'm here until the job's fucking done.
Yep.
Period.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
100% agree. I think through us doing these challenges, we practice a different level of conditioning our body to not being the master.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what you were saying when you were going through deleting the vices in your life that were pulling you down.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate in a way where probably most relevant thing right now, social media.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. Fucking bad.
Sucks you in, man.
Yes, so bad. To the point where it becomes just the goal of the day is like everything like my body, and I can see this kind of weird discord between my body and my mind, and how my body's like it's just so
You're talking about when you're on social media, or specifically in terms of the content that you're consuming?
just on social media
Mm-hmm.
in general. I mean, Instagram specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking bad. And during my time going to Burning Man, I was reading this book called The Molecule of More. It's
Mm-hmm.
a deep dive into the science of dopamine
Mm-hmm.
and how it affects our biology and our psychology. And he gives this demonstration, Daniel Lieberman, this demonstration of how dopamine is the main puppeteer
Mm-hmm.
between so many domains, politics, progress,
Yep.
to improvement, to all these different types of things.
Mm-hmm.
From getting up in the morning, how there needs to be a little bit of dopamine released in the day to get you out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And that people who are highly depressed and have these problems with like super lethargic, can't get out of bed, can't do anything, have a imbalance of their dopamine release.
Mm-hmm.
And after reading that, I was like, oh, I get it. My body's desire circuits are being flipped on their head
Yep.
to the point where it only becomes about getting that thing and getting that release and getting that feeling, where everything else becomes priority number 64.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Everything becomes about that.
Yep.
So
And retraining yourself there, it's a process, right?
yeah.
And it's something where I'm so grateful that I had the experience with mushrooms that I did, because what happens with psilocybin is that it rewires your brain's pathways, so that if there's something that you recognize isn't good for you, it makes it so much easier to make that change for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, while, in my book, I explain that it's not the mushrooms that changed my life. I did that. I had to take action. I had to understand what I was being shown and told and take decisive action towards making that a reality for myself.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes much easier with the help of those substances.
Mm-hmm.
But, for people dealing with it on an everyday basis, who either might not be comfortable with taking those or might not have access to it or whatever, um, it's a really big mental game. And every time you open that phone and you say, okay, well, maybe I'll just scroll for like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
What could I do better with this time?
Yeah.
And social media, it's important,
It
right?
is.
I mean, we're both entrepreneurs, right? We're both
Mhm.
trying to market ourselves.
Yeah.
We're both trying to connect with people online. So social media is a very important piece of everyday life,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something that can also become a huge trap, because just like you're saying, it becomes, your brain's way of saying, okay, I'm bored. Let me pick up the phone and let me get that dopamine hit,
Mm-hmm.
rather than working on what you need to work on, or, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, retrain yourself to understand that dopamine hit is just a way to keep you docile and placated for that period of time and isn't doing anything to actually contribute to being who you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't do anything for you. Unless you're using it for the right things.
Yeah. And that's the tricky part, right? Because it is a balance.
How do you make that shift, or how do you create that balance?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for you? Because I've had my own techniques. Like, for example, now I have nothing on my phone, so
Mm-hmm.
everything's on my computer, and my computer is in a certain place in my house that's locked away. And if I want to make content to grow my business, I have to go and get the key, and then unlock the thing, and then take it out the bag, and then put it on my table, and then load it up. But it's not on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
That works for me, or has been working. But what
Yeah.
about for you?
So, for me, that when I got back from EDC in 2022 and started to recognize all the changes that I wanted to make,
Mhm.
um, it became something where I'd open up my phone and I'd see meme accounts, or I'd see, female fitness influencers, which was basically just softcore porn, right?
Yeah.
And I had to ask myself, why am I following this, right? And so you just unfollow. And over the span of like 2 days, I unfollowed like 300 accounts.
Yeah.
So I completely removed those hardcore dopamine things and only followed people in my life who I still want to see updates from, or I think might be providing content that would be constructive to becoming the person that I want to be, right?
Mhm.
People like, Dr. Andrew Huberman, or other, motivational people, other science-based people who, help to put things like dopamine, like motivation, into usable context for yourself.
Yeah.
And so, it became a exercise in cleaning up my timeline and just making sure that the content that I did see when I opened it was positive and productive.
Mhm.
And then, asking myself, when I do open the phone, what am I trying to accomplish with this, right? Because if I'm opening Instagram, it's for a reason. I either want to, check my messages, or I want to, post something or whatever, and not getting caught in that scroll loop.
That loop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so a big way to help me do that was putting my phone into grayscale mode.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing that. I
Yeah.
remember you told me about it when we were doing the Psycho 10K,
Mm-hmm.
and I started doing it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
huge. I mean, I'm not perfect, right? I still get caught in the scroll loops, especially with Twitter, especially when there's major fucking national news, like what we
What
went through
the
last week.
fuck was
Yeah.
that? That was insane.
Yeah.
I don't watch
And
any news, and my
yeah.
friend came up to me and he was like, "Gianni, have you seen what's going? I know you live under a rock, but your ass have nothing on your phone. Like, I don't even have YouTube on my phone."
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "You got to see this." Pulls out his phone, and I'm like, "Who's this?" He was like, "You know who Charlie Kirk is?" I was like, "Who's that?" He was like, "What the fuck, Gianni? Watch this." Shows me, and I'm like, "Whoa!" I mean, I thought it was AI. I don't know if you watched the video.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrifically gore.
Yeah.
Gets shot in the neck, just complete loss of all body control, and then this just waterfall of blood just explodes out of his neck,
Mm-hmm.
and then eruption, chaos.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that?
I
Fucking
mean,
insane.
helped me do that was putting my phone into grayscale mode.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I started doing that.
Yeah.
I remember you told me about it when we were doing the Psycho 10K,
Mm-hmm.
and I started doing it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
huge. I mean, I'm not perfect, right? I still get caught in the scroll loops, especially with Twitter, especially when there's major fucking national news, like what we
What
went through
the
last week.
fuck was
Yeah.
that? That was insane.
Yeah.
I don't watch
And
any news, and my
yeah.
friend came up to me and he was like, "Gianni, have you seen what's going? I know you live under a rock, but your ass have nothing on your phone. Like, I don't even have YouTube on my phone."
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "You got to see this." Pulls out his phone, and I'm like, "Who's this?" He was like, "You know who Charlie Kirk is?" I was like, "Who's that?" He was like, "What the fuck, Gianni? Watch this." Shows me, and I'm like, "Whoa!" I mean, I thought it was AI. I don't know if you watched the video.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrifically gore.
Yeah.
Gets shot in the neck, just complete loss of all body control, and then this just waterfall of blood just explodes out of his neck,
Mm-hmm.
and then eruption, chaos.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that?
I
Fucking
mean,
insane.
it was kind of wild because, just the day before I watched the dude stab the girl. And so
the Ukrainian girl.
yeah, there's that moment where you're watching it and you're like, why am I watching this? You know what it's going to be, you know how horrific it's going to be, but it's it's like a car crash, like you just can't take your eyes
There's
off of it.
something weird about our biology that attracts us to
Yeah.
those things.
And then the Charlie Kirk thing happens, the next day or the day after, and you see it, and I think from seeing the train thing, it had lost a little bit of its shock value. Um, just heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking on so many levels.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah. And the loss of life of any kind is always terrible, right? I mean, there's not a lot that I can say about it that's really going to, really get to the heart of exactly what it is, or that I think would be worthwhile for us really having this conversation. But
Yeah.
You do become desensitized to that a little bit, and so when you see people online who are emotionless in their response to it,
Yeah.
you question how could someone be that emotionless, but then you go back to just that emotional roller coaster that I went through on those couple of days of going from, oh holy fuck, I just watched someone get stabbed, to, well, another person died.
Another person died. Yeah.
It's fucked.
That's
But yeah, so something like that happens, and you get sucked into that vortex a little bit. And when you're scrolling on, usually Twitter for me, if it's a news thing, you start to get sucked into that, and then triple tapping that right side brings it into grayscale, and it's, oh fuck, okay, get this away from me, please. No! I've had enough. Stop brainwashing me. And it really feels like that. It really feels like brainwashing. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but like after a long scroll session online, I feel my third eye really lit up. And when I massage right here, it kind of takes down that response a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's something that I feel that, other people don't, or maybe it's something that I'm just kind of, creating in my own mind, but
that's
what it feels like.
There's definitely a level of zombification that happens when you're doing it that is weird, and you notice it on a certain level. You're like, I'm being a zombie right now. Just like,
give me the dopamine. Give it to me. I need that fucking hit.
It's so bad. Fucking everybody has this problem. So many people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know any people who are really social media divergent, but I mean, everybody that I know, you go outside, everywhere. I mean, going to different countries, the exact same. Just the number one addiction.
Yeah.
That they've all captured us with.
And the biggest thing is, like, there's so much opportunity for you to live in the current moment and just appreciate where you are.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things for me when I went to EDC in 2022 and I had the big transformational experience is that there was no self-service in the venue. So, even though I'm at a concert and you wouldn't plan to be on your phone anyway, there's really no option to. So it takes you out of that for 3 full days, and you just get to be present with the people around you.
Yes.
And there's so much beauty and so much growth in that, and it shows you that when you're standing in line at the supermarket, or you're in an Uber, you have an opportunity to talk to someone and to maybe make someone's day better. And anytime that you're stuck in that vortex, you lose that ability to really connect with what's actually going on in the world around you, and you're sucked into what's going on the macro level. And so just avoiding that as much as possible really gives you so many more opportunities for growth.
Yeah. I think from talking to a lot of my friends are usually a lot older than me, and that the perspective that they kind of shine down on me is when looking back on life. The number one thing that stands out is the time that you spent usually with the people that you love, and how this little thing is doing a very good job and taking away from that. And it's like, what do I do? How do I want to look back on my life?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good segue into after this 100-mile race. What do you think's next for you?
Well,
Is it going to be mental, physical? I know you have the what you're doing with the business,
mm-hmm.
but if we're speaking in that domain of
Yeah.
these things that are so mentally out of your bounds, out of your domain, where do you think will be the next stride that you take?
Yeah. So I don't know what the next physical challenge I'm going to do after that is.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing a number of things, right? Whether it's strongman, whether it's high intensity interval training, Spartan races, ultra distance running, right? And so there's a lot of things that I have my toes dipped into
Mm-hmm.
just to see if I can do it and see how far I can push myself with certain things. That being said, those endeavors, specifically strongman and ultra marathon running, are on completely different opposite ends of the physical spectrum. And so, you know, what that next challenge is going to be for me, I don't know. Will it be another strongman competition? Will it be another, longer race? Maybe a ultra Spartan race, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but really, what I see this all as is just a point of emphasis for the type of message that I'm trying to bring to the world, right? Through my book and through my speaking and through what I do from a physical standpoint, is that so much of the world is placated to death with drinking, with social media, with validation, with, I can just work a 9 to 5 job and do that for the remainder of my life. We've got fucking one of these, man. And if you're not doing everything that you can to make sure that this life is as incredible as you can potentially make it, then you're failing your one opportunity at life. And so that's really what I want to continue to do, is just put that message out there, continue to push myself to the point where, people take notice and say, hey, wait a second, maybe this crazy guy that's eating the psychedelics might have a good point that he's trying to make. Maybe this is something I should listen to.
Yeah.
Because, the book that I wrote, I've gotten so many.
What's its name one more time?
The title is Your Mindset is Your Reality, a first-hand account of the positive effects of psilocybin on mental health and addiction.
Where can people get it?
Amazon currently,
Okay.
or directly from me.
Okay.
I'm publishing my audiobook right now, going back through and doing the final
Go.
steps on editing and making sure that it's clean and ready to go for people to listen to. But, I've got maybe 2 or 3 more chapters to go through and make sure that they're ready before I press publish. So we're at the final stages of that.
People can find it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
People, go right now. The one shot. Go change your life with this beautiful book. Go right now. Where else would you like people to go?
Yeah, Amazon or Audible.
But also for like your own personal stuff, like Get Psych as well.
GetPsychFitness.com, Instagram at Johnny B, at Get_Psych_Fitness.
Okay.
Or if you're on X at psilocybinfit. But
you were saying you were talking about the.
about the book and the message that I'm trying to bring out.
Yes.
The people that have read the book have nothing but incredibly positive things to say about what me sharing my story as openly as I did has done for them to address things in their life that needed to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the type of impact that I hope to continue to have for people, is this no holds barred. I'm an open book. I will tell you about every fuck up that I ever had and why I'm okay with that now, because it's helped me become the person that I am currently. And if I can fuck up as much as I fucked up in my life and still come back to make a positive change for people, imagine people that didn't go through as much bullshit as I have. How many opportunities do they have at their fingertips to do something that could positively impact the people in their lives, or people that maybe they don't even know yet, right? And so, I want my book to reach as many people as possible, because the more people that it reaches, the more opportunity that it has to touch people in a way that helps them grow.
I love that.
That's why I wrote it.
How long ago did you write it?
I published it on July 3rd of last year.
July 3rd of last year.
Mm-hmm.
How was the writing process?
It was one of those things where I came back from EDC and I started living my life completely differently. And I had received a message on the final day at EDC.
And when you say receive a message, you mean like an intuitive
Yeah,
voice?
a message from God.
Message?
Yeah, and I'm using the word God in my own way, whatever understanding you have or anyone has of the universe, spirituality. I think we're all talking about the same person. I don't follow any type of religion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my own personal relationship with the higher power that has
Your
touched
guy
my life.
sounds awesome.
He's fucking incredible.
Dude, he
man.
sounds like he's
Yeah.
like, get after it.
Yeah,
Don't
he's
be
like,
fucking
dude,
lazy.
you're a badass. Go. Prove it, motherfucker. Okay. All right. Whatever you say, boss. I gotcha. And I received a message the final day at EDC. You're good. You're safe. You're comfortable. You're taken care of. You can take care of yourself. You can help other people. Now go do it. And so I got back from EDC like, okay, well, I'm living a completely different life.
Yeah.
But how do I help people, right? What can I do to help people? And I had a moment where, I mentioned to you when you got off your bike, I don't know if I said this, but my brother was in a really bad motorcycle accident. And it wasn't really, him or the motorcycle or anything like that. But what happened is that my brother was 6 months sober and I had a moment where, I mentioned to you when you got off your bike, I don't know if I said this, but my brother was in a really bad motorcycle accident. And it wasn't really, him or the motorcycle or anything like that. But what happened is that my brother was 6 months sober from crystal meth.
Mm-hmm.
And he was leaving a Narcotics Anonymous meeting in Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
when he got ran over from behind by a guy and his accomplice in an SUV. And they ran him over, and then they drove over him again. And when they drove over him again, he got wedged underneath the car and he got dragged for half a mile as skin, bone, muscle is just ripped from his fucking body. Eventually, they stop the car, they drag him out from under the car, they dump him on the side of the road, and he has the strength, despite multiple fractured vertebrae, despite his skull being scraped down to the bone, despite having no muscle on the right side of his body, to stand up and walk and find a little boy that was walking his dog who was able to call an ambulance and get him to the fucking hospital.
Jeez. Fuck.
And, up to that point, my brother he'd been an addict, right? He stole from me. He hurt me emotionally in ways just by, not being there, not being present when you, kind of expect your older brother to be a positive influence in your life. And he wasn't that, right? And so when that happened, I didn't care if he lived or died because I just saw it as another way that he was making life more difficult for my family. That there was this thing that happened that's great. Now we have to take care of Ryan. And after that, he got addicted to painkillers and then heroin and went back to rehab again. And he was just a waste of a human being for a long time. But after he went to rehab a second time, he came back and, he battled some demons, but he stayed true and he stayed the course. And he opened his own pest control company and is very successful at it and is able to support himself and his fiance and their kids and everything like that. And right before moving down to Florida, he had been in this transitional period. He had just met his fiance, and I talked to him about the time that he stole my wallet when I was 14, and he paid me back the money that was in it. 10 years, 15 years later, and there was that piece of me that still just always saw him as the addict. And when I got back from EDC, I had a moment where I was sitting in the hot tub at my apartment complex, and I was just thinking about, the type of life transition that I went through. And then my mind went to my brother, and I said, "Oh my God, my brother's not that person. He's not the terrible person that I've still had in my mind that he was. He's changed. He's done so much good in his life. Oh my God, I have a brother that I'm proud of." And so that was really the big emotional key that unlocked, that said to me, okay, wait a second. If I can go from not only wrecking my own life, but also having a negative viewpoint of everyone else in my life, and it giving me the opportunity to see life in a different way and appreciate the people in my life for who they are. This is something that people need to hear about, because it's not just me, right? If it's just me, then that's one thing. But it was the relationships with all of my family members, right? My brother, my nephew, who's going to be here in a week, who's in 3 days, woo,
Yeah.
who, went from following the same pattern that I and my brother did with partying
Yeah.
to listening to my message of why that lifestyle is bad,
Mhm.
and listening to my message of, follow things that are going to be productive for you in the long run, and going from, a kid, and a 17, 18-year-old kid who was proud of partying and proud of how much he drank and proud of chasing girls, to
Mhm.
someone who, doesn't have it quite figured out yet,
Mhm.
but is driven enough to come down here to Florida and do a 5K with me. And the level of pride that I have in his transformation, and, slightly for myself, because I was able to change in time to not fuck up his life
Yeah.
in the way that, I'm not going to put it all on my brother, but the negative influences in my life drove me down the path that I went down for
Mhm.
so long.
Yeah.
That if I can help him change his life, and I can see my brother as a different person, and I can repair the relationship that I had with my father, that there's just so much positive that can be gained from this, that this is something that people really need to hear about and understand what the positive potential of these things are. And so, just sharing my story as openly as possible, and being as vulnerable as possible with all the terrible things that I did and the terrible influence that I was to, the people in my life, and being able to repair those relationships. Um, I'm just so grateful for the experience that I had, and for the level of change that I was able to make, both for myself and for those really important people in my life.
What's your nephew's name again?
Brandon.
So Brandon is a massive source of love and pride for you.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes down here, I remember when we were doing the Psycho 10K, you were kind of telling me what you were hoping for him.
Mm-hmm.
If you could curate Brandon's life
Mm-hmm.
in some aspects, what are some things that you would curate for him with your knowledge that you know now?
Yeah. Well, so I think he's on a good path, right? Because he just started his own personal training journey.
Yeah.
He's been somebody who's been into health and fitness for a long time. And I'd like to think that I had a part in that. I taught him how to lift and everything like that. And, it's been something that he's been passionate about, mostly from, the aesthetics and girls' standpoint when he was
Mm.
younger, but now is really reaching, that next stage for himself, where he's starting to ask, okay, what is my life actually going to look like?
Mhm.
And I think he's in a searching process of trying to figure out what that's going to be. And so, I hope that this visit for him, one, that he comes down and he has a phenomenal time in this beautiful city that I've found so much good in. I've found such an incredible environment for growth.
Mhm.
Um, and I hope that he continues to see that as an opportunity for him,
Mhm.
and chooses to take a jump for himself and jump into something that might be scary, might be unknown, to go for it. Because where he's at, living in Jersey, still living with his dad, um, he doesn't have the same opportunity for growth that he would coming down here. And, even if he is living with his uncle, being on his own and jumping into the water and seeing if he can swim.
Yeah.
And I want him to learn how well he can swim.
Yeah. I think him being around here would probably, how would I say? Yeah, it would definitely be great for him. I think when we're younger, we don't understand the power of environment
Mm-hmm.
and how these millions of influences are constantly taking their toll on us and then
Mm-hmm.
moving us unconsciously to different parts of life. And then we end up in that part of life. We're like, how do we get here? And then we use the word as destiny
Mm-hmm.
to kind of excuse it. But then
Yeah.
it's really, it's like, no,
No, it's your choices
it's
all
your
along.
choices.
Yep.
Yeah. And you want kids as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many babies?
Hopefully one in like 9 months.
What? She
We're
pregnant?
trying. We're trying.
Is she pregnant though?
No.
Oh, okay.
We don't. At least we don't think so yet. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Shit. So at least one.
Yeah. We've talked about 4.
Fuck. Oh, shit.
We'll see. There's got to be a John the 5th. So at least until we get a boy. And apparently there's an Aubrey in there somewhere too.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going out to a
You gonna go
class
to
that
dinner?
she's teaching in Tampa.
Copy that. I think it was a great place. I think it's
Yeah.
great. We left it off on a smart place. Well, everybody, this is John Borden. Please tell them again where they can find out everything about you, anything, Psych Fitness, your book, everything.
Yeah. So, Johnny B, Get Psych Fitness. Look for the brain weight. Johnny B on Instagram, JohnNniebe. Get_psyched_fitness on Instagram. My book available on Amazon. Your mindset is your reality. It's a purple book. It'll change your fucking life. Gianni, thank you so much, brother.
Love you. Fucking love you, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. I appreciate the conversation, dude.
Of course, brother. All right, people. Goodbye. Whoa.